Good afternoon out there in Astro Lunatic Land. A little early today. Chris wanted me to do a video on plate solving, and he texted me and asked if I could come on a little early because he had some dinner things to do tonight. And so here we are. And as soon as I see him check in, I'll go ahead and get started. What we're going to do is show what plate solving is for those that don't know, and then I'm going to walk Chris through how I do plate solving. And that's what goes. What I've done is I've got my telescope set up in the garage. It's cloudy and rainy here in Seattle. So when I start to move the telescope, we'll be able to see that. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up all sky plate solver. So that's opened, and so well, maybe I'll wait until I think I'll go ahead and close this and wait till I see Chris here, and so we can walk through the whole thing together. And I don't like a lot of dead air, but I don't like to just hear myself. Oh, I guess there was a little miscommunications there because he just asked if I wanted to do it Facebook or Zoom. So I'll tell him I'm live YouTube. And I've got one other viewer right now. Hi, Sam. So, and I just let Chris know that I'm live YouTube. See what he says now. Yeah, so he's going to log into his YouTube and see if he can find me. And so I'll give him a bit here. Since he already knows, plate solving is where you take a picture of the sky and where your telescope is pointed, and then some software goes through a database and looks at it, and it tells you where your telescope is actually pointed versus where it thinks it's pointed. And where it thinks it's pointed comes in with errors in the gear train, backlashing gears, and just alignment, and maybe the polar alignment's off a little bit. So that helps you center the picture, and you can center the picture every time in the same spot. So if I take a picture tonight of, say, M101, which is what we'll be working with today, and I go back to it tomorrow night, I'll get it back in exactly the same frame. So when I stack my photos, there's not as much. You'll see here on the screen I've got this one photo. Well, that was because a couple weeks later I had the camera twisted at a different angle, and I'm not a real Photoshop guru, so I didn't know how to fix this gradient. And this donut over here is not because I used to be a police officer, but because I had dust on the lens, and my program to take the dust out didn't catch that one for some reason. So, and here I'm bringing up the sky chart map. I don't think Chris really needs to see that booted up. And what we're working with today is we're working with photos that I took quite some time ago, because and we're going to have to do some, I'll explain as I go along, but we'll have to do some manipulation here to make the mount think that it's not pointing or the program think it's not pointing where I want it to point. So whoops, what happened there? Oh, nothing. Um, I'll show you one other program that I use while we're waiting for Chris to show up here, and that is PhD2. It stands for Push Here Dummy, and what that does is it allows me to connect my mount right here, the mount. And yeah, we connect the mount right here, and the mount is in the park position, and I connect another small telescope called a guider scope with a camera on it. And what I would do, won't be able to do it because you can't see any stars, but there would be star fields in here, and I would click on a star and then hit the looping here. Then I would click on a star, and you'd see a star in here, and then I would click on this one here, and then what that would do is the mount would send guiding pulses, or I mean the guide scope would send pulses to the mount to keep the star focused right there in the center. And that would make it so we can take long duration photos. If we didn't have this, then the longest we could take would be about a 30-second photo before you'd start seeing trails in the stars. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that because I don't need the camera running. And we'll shrink this. Chris needs a link to the video, so I'll have to figure out how to do that. See. And I'm not a multitasker, so I have to do things and let's see, I think I have that open here somewhere. No, I don't. So let me go here like so. Oh, that is it. Okay. And I have to do this the slow way because I haven't figured out how to share these things yet. That should do it for him. So we'll see how that works out for him. And yeah, so that's PhD2. That's the guiding program. The other program I will be using is All Sky Plate Solver, and this is the one that will take the photograph and figure out where the mount is actually pointed and give us a correction. Let's see, have I connected the scope yet? No, I haven't connected it yet. So we'll connect, and we'll track the telescope. Now what that does is that keeps where'd it go? Oh, I'll bet you, because I was playing earlier, that it thinks it's somewhere else. So we won't track scope. And oh yeah, there it is. There's the telescope right there. And what we're going to do is come down to M101. And what we'll have to do is pretend that Mizar is M101, so that the scope thinks it's I'll tell it that it's on the scope, because the picture I'm using is M101. I'm going to make the scope go to Mizar and tell it that that's M101, and then we'll plate solve, and I'll show you what happens. And checking the audio here, make sure, yeah, I've still got audio. And I've got one viewer right now. I hope that's not me. I hate talking to myself. I wind up answering myself. Yeah, this plate solving thing is really cool. I really like it. It's helped me a whole lot. So okay. And I was just playing around now while we were waiting to see if Chris and I can catch up here. That's Chris from Elliott's Astro Imaging. He's been kind of a real encouragement to me on my whole video series here, all two of them. But I don't think he needs to see me open programs, so disconnect the scope, and everything should be just sitting here fine. They've got music playing in the background. I hope that doesn't cause me a copyright infringement. Let me go close my door. Sorry about that, but got that taken care of. No more music in the background until I can find some stuff that isn't, taboo to play. So okay, let me check my address. Chris said he couldn't find it. Oh. I sent that correct. So. I wonder why that's, oh, that's because I oh, I love technology. So one thing when you use these programs, like the chart, let's see, observatory, that should open up. Yeah, there we go. Well, I shouldn't probably put my location in, but hey, I'm in Seattle, Washington. So you have to put your latitude and longitude into the programs, and unfortunately, you have to do it in each one that such as the EQ mod and the chart and my imaging program. They all need to have it put in. A couple of them you can do the pull from mount, and so once you install the latitude longitude in the mount, then they can pull it. But a couple others you have to just manually put it in. So. And we're still waiting. I hate that dead air, but I don't know, I don't think you want to hear me recite poetry or anything. Yeah, he didn't get the notification I was live, which is strange. Although I didn't get one from him the other night either. I just happened to log on and there he was. I say I don't have any comments yet. Of course, I haven't had anybody chat with me either. So. Let me try something here. Let's see what happens here. Nope, that doesn't do me either. Wonder why. Where am I? So. Let's see. Well, so much for my second foray into YouTube. Now, hang on, people. I got to go ask somebody a question. I'll be right back.
Right here? No, that's not it. That's not the link you want to send.
I've got it there.
That's the link you sent right there?
Yeah.
Okay, and then your page, you want to see your YouTube. Oops. So I want your channel. That's your channel right there.
Okay.
Do you have like a way to send it from here? Let me do it this way. Do you have YouTube on your phone?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to your channel. And then when you're done, you can when you're all done doing this, we can edit all this stuff out. Let's see, settings. I'll just call it. Can I call it Sammy Airlines?
Sure. Where you want back here?
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm gonna.
I just wanted to see if you connected that.
I'm gonna go to your channel.
Okay, thanks.
Hopefully that works. I was like, oh no, he's trying to play ball and it's not working.
Okay, just got.
The door open so you can holler.
Okay, well, I closed it because of the music playing in the background. I didn't want, you know. So, yeah, it looks like we're going to have a lot of editing to do on this video once we're done. Got the information sent to Chris, so hopefully he'll be here soon. Oh. Oh. There we go. Okay. Okay, I see Chris. You're here. Good, great. Okay. As you can see, I've got my sky chart open. I'm going to go ahead and. You want me to start from the very beginning, or do you just want to see how the plate solving is working, Chris? Yeah. Yeah, I just changed the name to Sammy Airlines because it was a little confusing trying to find mine. And okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just start all over from the beginning, Chris. Let me make sure I've got, whoops, that closed, so everything must be okay. The three programs I have installed is All Sky Plate Solver right here, and you have that, and you've got that working, so you're 2 steps ahead of where I was. The other one I use is I can't pronounce it because I'm not French, but it's Cartes du Ciel. And of course, that works with ASCOM. You have to have the ASCOM platform installed. And I've also got EQ mod installed, which is a mount control program. So I bring my chart up, and if I open the chart, go up here to telescope, and I come down to connect telescope, you have to put your mount in here, so you have to select your mount. Well, in mine, it's the EQ ASCOM HEQ5/6 mount, which is the same as most of them, the gems and whatnot. And I've got that, so that's come up. Okay, okay. The first time you do that, you'll have to install your, with EQ mod, you'll have to put the latitude and longitude in. So anyway, so I've got this telescope connected. Oh, I didn't connect it. And it'll come up. And last time I used the scope, it was in the park position. So then I'll, of course, unpark it. And I can shrink this, and I've also got this photo of my telescope up. So we're gonna use M101. Okay, good. You've got that. You don't have which one? The EQ mod? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that Mizar is M101 because I don't have a picture of just something out there. All I've got is a picture of M101 to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and slew the mount to Mizar. And I right click on that. That makes my one window go away. Telescope, and then telescope, and then oh, that was Alcor. No, that's Mizar. I don't know why it switched to Alcor all of a sudden. Slew to Mizar. Oh, you don't have the sky chart. Yeah, that one talks with ASCOM. Stellarium does not talk with ASCOM. And so it's if you want to use this plate solving stuff. Now there's some new stuff coming out that I haven't played with that uses what's called the Indy mount, which I think Stellarium, or not Indy mount, but Indy version. It's a like a Linux based system for I shouldn't say Linux, but Windows. ASCOM uses a lot of the Windows, serial software, and there's another one comes out that does it differently that will work with Stellarium. But okay, so what I did is I didn't get this back up so you could see the mount move, but you can see that the mount moved, and I think I'm pointing at M101 right now. But as you can see, the scope is on Mizar. We're going to pretend that M101 is Mizar, or some other spot in the sky, actually. So then I'll bring up All Sky Plate Solver. And I've run this once already, so it'll run quick, and so we don't waste a lot of time with that. So I hit, I go to where my photo is, which in this case was right here. I select my photo, and then I click Plate Solve. Let me back up. In the settings, Plate Solve settings, and I had this all figured out when I practiced it. You want to have Synchronize ASCOM Mount clicked, and you'll have to choose the mount. Okay, so then do the Plate Solve, and it's plate solved. And because it plate solved already once earlier, it was that much quicker. So then I click on Confirm Sync Mount. Now when I click on Confirm Sync Mount, let's see if I can get that. If you can watch right down here, I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not, but if you watch down at Mizar, you'll watch the telescope jump from Mizar to M101. And there it did, right there. Did you see that happen? I get it. It's not blowing up very quick. I'm going the wrong way, that's why. So once I clicked on the sync, since my telescope was right there, the telescope thought it was right there, or let me back up. The telescope thought it was right there, but the plate solving you didn't. Oh, cool, good. So now you've got it. Yeah, that'll get your. Now that you've got the mount connected, yeah, you'll be able to just do just what I did. Just do the plate solving, sync it, and then as you see, this is where, because this is the picture I have, this is where the mount actually was versus here. And so then I would just right click here again and slew back to Mizar, and that would be the object I wanted to look at. Whoops. Don't know what happened there. Let me check because when you use an EQ mod, sometimes you have to clear out the, you come up into the toolbox up here and open that up, and you have to clear the sinks, because once it starts getting up at around 10 or 12, for some reason it messes up. And so now we'll go back here to Mizar and do another plate solve and see where it thinks it is. And it should say that it's at M101. And since it's already solved, it'll just go to it immediately. And there it jumped back to M101, which is where the picture says the telescope is pointing. And now I'll go back to Mizar, and it should go back properly. Yeah, there we go. So that's one thing. If you use that EQ mod, I don't know if you're if you don't have EQ mod installed and it's connecting to your mount, then you won't need to do that. You worry about that. But if you are using the EQ mod, just once in a while go up here and click the little wrench just above the display there and clear out the sync counts. There's an X here that'll clear out the sync counts. And like I say, once it gets up around 5 or, whoops, what did I do there? Once it gets up around 10 or so, it will sometimes give a little problem. So that's basically how the plate solving works. Is like I said, I came in here and I called this M101 and took a photo that was actually M101 and plate solved it. So that told the telescope that no, you're not pointing here, you're pointing at M101. Oh, good. Yeah, that should work out for you. Yeah, it should work out good. I've been real happy with it, Chris. My go-tos are, I don't even do a star line anymore. I just go to and then do a plate solve, and that syncs it up, and that basically, and as long as I stay in this area, it will be real close. Thanks, Squish. That's my daughter, Chris. She's my YouTube guru. I call on her for my YouTube help. Yeah, but once I sync up, I can be anywhere in this area here, and it'll be pretty darn close. And even at that, do another plate solve, and you're right there. Now, the other program I'd like to show you, because you said you don't use it, and I do. I like it real well. It's got some quirks I don't care for, but astrophotography tool. I'm going to bring it up right now, and I do have the paid for version. It gives you a couple extra options, and my telescope automatically connects when I open it up. In the gear here, I can connect my autofocuser. Oops. For some reason it lost that. Huh, I'll be darned.
Focuser disconnected.
Oh. Oh, let's do this over again. There we go. Oh, I know what it is. What it is I have a box out there that I can control my power with. So there's the power for the focuser there, and there's the power for the cooler on the camera. I'm not going to cool the camera because it takes time. Okay, so now I can go to the focuser and I can connect it. And now I can grab my focuser and click OK.
Focuser connected.
Okay, so this has got a bunch of tools in it that you can use too. Here's I think you can see these. Yeah, over here, um, there's a focus aid which comes up, and you would put this over a star, and then autofocus aid, and it will actually talk to the focuser and get my focus in for me. It's kind of a neat little especially my eyes are getting so bad that I have a hard time focusing. My daughter's always telling me, "Dad, that's out of focus." And it's got some others. It's got a flats aid where it will you put your flat panel on and it will figure, you tell it what your target ADU is, and then it'll go through and figure out what the exposure should be. Yeah, thanks, Chris. I've been putting this together for quite some time, and the older I get, the easier I find it to justify things like focusers and because like I say, on the other one, okay. Anyhow, you click on the run and it'll go through and automatically figure your focus out for you. And it's got a bunch of other little things. The camera, it'll do, if you connect the camera, it brings up if it's a cooled camera, yeah, and it tells you what it's doing too. And if it's a cooled camera, it'll, you click start and it will cool it to whatever temperature you set it to. And it does it in steps, so it doesn't just go from, like 20 Celsius down to -5 or -10, just in one big step. It steps it down over a period of time, so to keep the thermal shock down. It's got built-in plate solving. It uses you can 2 of 3 different programs to plate solve. And I just use the All Sky plate solver all the time. It works well for me. But that's just kind of the
focuser disconnected. Telescope disconnected. Camera disconnected.
Okay, that. So there was something else I was going to show you, but I can't remember what it was. We'll go ahead and park the scope, and I'll do this real quick. And you see the scope is parking, going to its park position. You can see this blue box here. That's the Pegasus USB power control box. That allows me to turn things off, because a lot of times during the summer when we get 4 or 5 nights in a row, I'll leave this thing sit outside and I can turn the cameras off and turn the mount off and just not have it running all day long. And then I go out and I put a cover on it to keep the stuff off it. So any questions, Chris, on what I've done? Or at least I'm thinking you're still there. So I'll go ahead and close that one out. Close that one out. I love it when technology works for me. I'll shrink it. So anyhow, the scope's parked. Okay, it did disconnect. The scope is parked, so then what I would do is just come up to telescope, disconnect, and everything's closed down. Yeah, you're gonna just absolutely love it, Chris. It'll bring it to a whole new level for you. I've gone from spending, literally an hour trying to find my object and get it centered in the scope field where I want it, and down to, it's just minutes now. So, okay, so if that's it, I think I'll go ahead and wrap things up here. I might even just delete this video. It's pretty rambling. So Chris, cool. Let me know. Yeah, I missed you last night. Did you go live last night? Clear skies. What does that mean, Trish? I don't understand that phraseology. Yeah, I keep forgetting that there's a lag between when I ask you guys something and my pleasure, Chris. I hope it works as well for you as it does for me. And did you go live last night? Because I couldn't find you. Yeah, like I said, if you go out and set up tonight and take a photo, and then you go out tomorrow night and set up, you can get the object right back in the center of the screen just every time. It rained last night. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was being facetious there. We've got rain for the next week, and we had rain last week, and so we haven't been doing any imaging here. So, okay, guys, I'll cut out of here, and oh boy, I got 2 likes. Thank you. Yeah, I remembered that. I remembered that 30-second lag thing after I got confused again. Yeah. So, alrighty. Well, let me know if there's anything else I can do. And I should have the cart video up probably Monday, and then after that I've got a. I don't know if you know what a stellar mate is. Yeah, this asking questions is kind of like working moon bounce. Uh, yeah, my pleasure. Do you know what a stellar mate is, Chris? Yeah, I bought one just to see what they were like. It's a Raspberry Pi based thing, and so I'm going to do a video on it here in a couple, probably in about 2 or 3 weeks. So, okay, anyhow, I'm going to get out of here. Otherwise, I'll keep babbling forever. Take care, people. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.